In this video, we are going to reveal some of the most famous magic tricks that will leave you astonished because what you thought was magic is actually a fantastic trick and years of practice by magicians. So, let's get started with the video. Thread in straw trick. This trick is quite simple, and you can impress anyone easily with it. In this magic, the magician inserts a thread into a plastic straw and then folds the straw in the middle. Pay close attention, and if you figure out the magician's trick early, be sure to let us know in the comments. After folding the straw, the magician asks a girl to cut it in the middle using a pair of scissors. Now, when the girl and you both think that the thread has been cut along with the straw, watch carefully. The magician straightens the straw and pulls the thread. And surprise, the thread is perfectly intact. But how? The thread should have been cut along with the straw, right? Let's uncover the secret behind this magic. In reality, before performing this trick, the magician had already cut one side of the straw. The magician inserts the thread into the straw and then folds it. After that, the magician cleverly pulls the thread downwards, leaving a portion of the straw with no thread. The magician hides the pulled thread with his fingers. After doing this, when the girl cuts the straw, only the straw is cut and the thread remains perfectly intact. When we think that the thread has also been cut, the magician straightens the straw and reveals the intact thread, leaving everyone amazed. You can also impress someone with this simple trick, so be sure to give it a try. Scarf through phone trick. Famous magician Dynamo performed this incredible magic trick. For those who don't know him, let me tell you that he has performed many astonishing tricks, but today we're going to talk about a particularly mind-blowing one. First, Dynamo takes a lady's scarf from her. Then, to perform his trick, he asks the lady for her phone. Dynamo holds the phone in his left hand and the scarf in his right hand, and then something incredible happens. Everyone is shocked when Dynamo, in the blink of an eye, appears to push the scarf through the phone, as if there were a hole or gap in the phone's surface. When the scarf is fully through the phone, the hole miraculously disappears, and the phone is returned to the lady completely unharmed. So, how did Dynamo do it? Let's uncover the secret. If you look closely, in the beginning, Dynamo held the scarf in a certain way in both of his hands and then handed the scarf over to his right hand. When Dynamo placed the scarf in his right hand, it appeared like this. After that, Dynamo took the lady's phone, and he placed it between the scarf like this. At first glance, it appears as if the phone is behind the scarf, even though the phone is actually between the layers of the scarf. Now, here comes the key part of this trick, a piece of plastic. It's a piece of plastic made in a specific shape from normal, transparent plastic. Dynamo places this plastic piece in front of the mobile phone and discreetly slides it in between the layers of the scarf while hiding it from everyone's view. After this, all that remains is to pull the scarf from behind, and it creates the illusion that the scarf has gone through the phone, even though the phone is actually still between the layers of the scarf. And this is how Dynamo fooled everyone and performed this astonishing trick. Coin through table. This amazing trick is also performed by Dynamo and was done in front of a couple at a restaurant. In this trick, Dynamo places a coin on the table. Afterwards, he instructs the man to place his hand under the table exactly where the coin is located. Dynamo then proceeds to move his hand over the table, and astonishingly, the coin that was on the table appears to have moved under the table on man's hand. When the couple witnesses this, they can hardly believe it. So, how did this happen? While it may seem like magic at first glance, once you understand the secret behind it, you will be equally amazed. But before that, if you like Dynamo's amazing magic, be sure to like the video. Now let's find out the secret behind this magic. In reality, Dynamo had two identical coins, one he kept with him, and the other he placed on the table in front of everyone. Here comes the crucial part of this trick. Dynamo had a very strong magnet hidden in his right hand, concealed from everyone's view. When Dynamo placed the coin on the table, he simultaneously positioned the other coin under the table with his other hand in a way that the magnet in his right hand attracted the coin under the table. So, now one coin was on the table, and the other coin was right below the table, attached to the hand above the table by the magnet. Dynamo performed a bit of acting to convince the couple that there were no openings or holes in the table, and then he had the man place his hand under the table again. As you can see, the man's hand was positioned slightly away from the table, not directly attached to it, so that the lower coin, which was attached by the magnet, could be released in his hand. At the same time, the coin that was on the table sticks to the magnet present in the magician's hand. It created the illusion that the coin that was originally on the table had magically moved from the table's surface to the man's hand. But now you know the secret behind this magic. Swallow trick. The astonishing magician Stevie Star has performed this bewildering magic. He is a magician who can swallow and then retrieve various objects, such as coins, light bulbs, balloons, nails, balls, and even a live goldfish. Not only does he swallow these objects, but he can also bring them back out. He showcased a similar trick on the stage of Britain's Got Talent, where he first borrowed an engagement ring from one of the judges and proceeded to swallow it. After that, he handed a lock to the judge and asked them to lock it and place it in his mouth. He proceeded to swallow the lock. Then, to everyone's amazement, the magician retrieved something from his mouth, and it turned out to be the same ring and lock. What's even more astonishing is that the ring was now locked inside the lock. But how? How did the magician manage to open the lock inside his stomach, insert the ring, and then lock it again? How can all of this happen inside his stomach? Now, let's uncover the secret behind this astonishing magic. Magician Stevie Star is a performer who can swallow and retrieve various objects. With a lot of practice, such feats can be achieved. However, the act of swallowing the lock, unlocking it inside his stomach, inserting the ring, and then locking it again is absolutely impossible. But I must tell you, the magician didn't do anything inside his stomach. As you can see here, when the magician took the ring from the judge and turned away from the audience, he had already placed the ring inside a lock beforehand. When he shows the ring to the audience before swallowing it, it's actually the top part of the ring that is visible, not the lock. Later, when the magician takes another lock in his mouth, he only pretends to swallow it. He doesn't actually swallow it. So, inside the magician's stomach, there is only the lock with the ring already locked inside it, which he then retrieves, making everyone believe that everything happened inside his stomach. But now you also know the secret behind this magic. Levitation illusion. You may have seen the magic where a person appears to be levitating in the air without any visible support. We showed you a similar trick earlier in our previous video and explained how the magician fooled us. Now, we are showing you another levitation trick, but don't be disappointed because the secret behind this magic is a bit different. Stevie Pink performed this magic by first laying the lady on a table and then removing the table from underneath her, making it appear as though she was floating in midair. But that's not all. The magician proceeded to make the lady hover around him. After this, the magician takes a hula hoop and passes it over the flying lady, showing the audience that she is not suspended by any support at all. So how does he do it? Does the magician possess any magical powers that allow him to make the lady float in midair? Absolutely not. Now let me reveal the secret to you. In reality, this entire magic act is performed using a structure that is carefully concealed from view. To operate this apparatus, a power source is required, which is hidden here. The magician first turns on a fan to create the illusion that the power source is being used to operate the fan, while in reality, the power source is used for a mechanism called a jack. This is a device used to lift heavy objects. In addition to this, if you look closely, there is a blackboard here that is essential for concealing the jack. Now you must have understood how the magician stands in front of the jack and uses a switch, which he keeps with him to control the jack, causing the lady to start floating in the air. Here, if you look carefully, when the magician's hand is slightly lower, you can see that support. And in this way, the magician spins the lady around in all directions. Now the question is, how did the magician manage to pass the hula hoop over the lady when she was suspended from the support? Well, the answer lies in the design of the support's S shape, which allows the hula hoop to be passed over it in a certain way. If you've paid attention, you would have noticed that the magician doesn't take the hula hoop all the way in front to the back, but rather spins it around in a specific manner. In this way, the magician fooled everyone, but now you know the secret behind this incredible magic. We work hard to bring you videos like this, so please like the video and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell turned on to stay updated with our future videos.